Neighbors, what was your that's it, I'm going nuclear moment? My neighbor Frank was the kind of guy who'd bring you cookies and then ask to borrow your lawnmower for the summer. For 5 years, I put up with it. The loud parties on Tuesdays, the basketball hoop he installed right against our shared fence, the way his hedges seemed to creep another 6 inches onto my lawn every spring. He'd just laugh it off with that charming, toothy grin. "We're all family here," he'd say, clapping me on the shoulder, the smell of his cheap cologne always lingering. The piece was worth more than a few feet of grass, I told myself. I was wrong. The breaking point wasn't the noise or the property line. It was my grandfather's bird bath. It was this ugly, concrete thing, but my grandpa made it by hand before he passed. It sat under the old oak tree on my side of the fence. One afternoon, I came home to find the oak tree's branches trimmed way back, and the bird bath was in 100 pieces on the ground. Frank was there, looking apologetic. "So sorry, buddy," he said. "The branches were hanging over my new shed. The tree trimmers must have been careless." His new shed that was, incidentally, built directly on the property line. Something in his smug little smile just broke me. I wasn't sad, I was cold. That night, I didn't sleep. I went online to the county assessor's office. It took hours of clicking through digital maps and property records, but I found it. Frank had bought his house 2 years before me. A year after I moved in, he filed a lot line adjustment for a fence he was supposedly building. It was denied. But he'd been acting as if it were approved ever since, slowly moving his garden, his shed, his life onto my land. Then I looked wider. The neighbor on his other side had sold their house last year for 10% below market value after a bitter dispute over a shared driveway. I found 2 other properties adjacent to his that had similar issues. He wasn't just being a nuisance. He was executing a slow-motion land grab, annexing small, unnoticeable parcels from 4 different yards to create a much more valuable premium plot for himself to eventually sell to a developer. My anger turned into a quiet, meticulous focus. For the next 3 months, I became an expert in local zoning bylaws. I spent $4,000 on surveyors and architects. I filed every permit correctly. The day the construction crew arrived, Frank came over, his smile finally gone. "What's all this?" he asked, gesturing to the massive concrete foundation being poured. The foundation was exactly 3 feet from his new shed, the legal minimum. "It's my new amateur radio tower," I said cheerfully. "Fully permitted, should get great reception up at 80 feet. His face went pale. He knew exactly what that meant. Constant buzzing, horrible light pollution, and a monstrous eyesore that would make his premium plot utterly worthless. He tried to fight it, of course. Called the city, hired a lawyer, claimed it was a spite structure. But I had followed every single rule. I had the paperwork to prove it. The reveal came during the zoning board appeal he filed. His lawyer was grandstanding about community aesthetics when I presented the certified survey maps showing his illegal encroachment over the last 5 years, along with sworn affidavits from his other neighbors. Frank just sat there, his mouth slightly open, as the board dismissed his appeal in under 5 minutes. His wife shot him a look of pure venom. I saw them in their yard a week later, screaming at each other while taking down the shed piece by piece. The half-finished radio tower foundation sits there today, a beautiful concrete monument to his grief.